a long story, but I'm gonna make it short. So I used to be a graphic designer for about 10 years back in Korea. But I was always had this love for drawing, right? So one point I was like, I can't do this anymore. So let me just give myself another chance. And I was already like close to like 30 years old, which was kind of old in my culture. But I decided to drop everything in Korea and move to England to go back to school. And that was the beginning of my journey to become an illustrator. So I studied illustration there, graduated, looking for a job as an illustrator, and didn't happen. So I went back to actually design for another 2 years. And then I realized, no, this is killing me. So that's the time when I wanted to give myself a second chance and move to USA. So I went back to school again. But it was kind of scary because either I could make this happen or I have to like just give up at this point, right? Because I'm giving myself two chances. So I worked really, really hard because for me, it was either do or die, right? So yeah, so I went back to school, graduated, tried, didn't happen right away, but then I kept on trying. So I got very lucky. And then I started getting some jobs, and that was the whole journey, like led me to become an illustrator now. I had no idea where to start, but I was asking all my classmates, right, who also study illustrations. And they were like, oh, just send out some postcards to clients and they might like what you do, then they might give you a job. So I just was copying what everybody else was doing in my class. So honestly, I sent out 500 postcards every other month for a whole year. And I got like one job. But it was still very exciting. So that was the beginning as well. Yeah. But everyone takes a different path. Some people got a job right off the bat, or some people, like such as myself, took like 3 years to be more solid with the path that I took. So yeah, no give up. Just keep on going. You never know. If you are familiar with my comics, you probably know that a lot of my comic contents are based off of mundane life, right? Like something silly or something you can relate. So a lot of times what I do is when something, sorry, but shitty happens, I look at the bright side. This is something that I can make a comic out of, right? So I'm looking for something continuously in life that, this could be something. So in my notebook, I have like all these lists of things that I can make a comic of. So that's the first step I do as a comic book artist. I always am looking for something I can create a content of that anyone can relate, right? And the second, I go through those lists. The lists are very simple. It could be something like something happened in grocery store or like, like anything. And then I sit down and just go through the lists and start making sketches based off of each list. And whatever that speaks the biggest volume to me, I start going a little deeper with it. And then I start writing first, right? And then figure out how many panels do I need to tell a story most effectively. So because you don't want to make too many panels, right? So how to condense this whole story that I experience in the most effective way with simple but right way of illustration that tells the best story possible. So I always draw really badly. My husband doesn't like me saying that, but I think I'm very proud of my style in some extent because I don't know, maybe since I was like 8 until now, I don't think my style changed that much, right? So for me, there are points in my life that I wanted to like refine, my style so that it looks great, but I realized it's not making anything better. It's like whatever that comes natural, whatever that comes out naturally from me is the style that I should stick to and refine, right? Because that's actually a true form of who you are as an artist, right? So that's what I have been focused on. Like, okay, I'm someone who doesn't draw very well, but it can be charming and communicates really well. So I think that's what I did.